city of Basel. And as far as semi-finals day is concerned, well, there's just one more semi-final to come this afternoon, and it features the two-time former champion Lin Dan of China up against Anthony Sinisuka Ginting of Indonesia. Well, as far as Lin Dan is concerned, as the #1 seed, that means that he was top of the draw. There were 6 different nations involved by quarterfinal stage, and the #1 and 2 seeds. Shi Yuqi of China was the #2 seed, so he should actually be right at the bottom of the draw there. But as you can see, it's semi-final stage, 2 Chinese players once again in the bottom half of the draw. Wang Suwei, runner-up at the German Grand Prix Gold, and Shi Yuqi, the beaten finalist at the All England, so the beaten finalist from the last 2 tournaments, battling it out in the bottom half of the draw. But we're concentrating on the top half, and here comes the 2-time former Olympic champion. The 2-time former champion here, looking to make it through to his 4th final here at the Swiss Open. Lin Dan, 5-time world champion as well. There's no question he goes down as an all-time great. But for this young man, Anthony Sinisuka Ginting of Indonesia, well, he's trying to make his own history today, because he has never contested an international tournament final in the senior ranks. Bronze medalist at the World Junior Championships of 2014 in Malaysia. And he is a player that has so often, in his very, very young career, promised so much, because he has got through to semi-finals, in fact 2 semi-finals of Super Series events, but never in the final in any level of tournaments. Super Series, of course, is the elite tier of tournament, then the Grand Prix Golds, then Grand Prix, then international challenger events, international series events, and there's futures events below that. So there's a very definite development path for young players coming up wanting to make it big on the world stage of badminton. So he's 20 years of age, from Cimahi, west of Bandung in West Java. Anthony Ginting gone up 3 places in the world ranking this week, 230, but he has been as high as number 22 on the world ranking. That was in May last year, a couple of weeks, as world number 22. Lin Dan, of course, has been world #1, and he is 33 years of age, born in Longyan near Fuzhou, and that is the capital of Fujian province on the east coast of China. Making his 6th appearance here at the Swiss Grand Prix Gold, Lin Dan, but the last time he competed here was 7 years ago, when he lost in the quarter-final stage to a certain Peter Gade of Denmark. So his 2 wins here happened in 2004 and 2008, and he was beaten finalist in 2009 as well. Well, China haven't had a champion here in the men's singles discipline for 4 years. The last time was Wang Zhiming in 2013. And on that occasion, it was an all-Chinese affair. He beat Du Pengyu in the final. Well, as far as Lin Dan is concerned, he's looking to reach his 84th career final. You know, of his 83 previous finals, he's won 63 of them. My goodness, that's a good win-loss record in finals, isn't it? Well, this will only be the 2nd meeting between these 2 players. The only time they met previously was at the Chinese Taipei Grand Prix Golds of 2015 in the quarter-final stage. And it was a very one-sided opening game, 21-7, but the second game very tight indeed, 22-20. Lin Dan won on that occasion. But I think that the young Indonesian has improved considerably since then. Well, the fans very much looking forward to this, I can assure you. And just for the record, the last player from Indonesia to win this title here was 15 years ago, 2002. Marlief Maniki won on that occasion. The last Indonesian in the final was 10 years ago. Simon Santoso, as a qualifier,
Ladies and
got
gentlemen,
through to the final.
on my right, Lindan, China. And on my left, Anthony Sinisuka Ginting, Indonesia. Lindan to serve, love all, play.
So the two-time former champion, Lindan, getting this semi-final underway. Well, as far as Lindan is concerned, he didn't play any more tournaments after losing the bronze medal playoff match at the Rio Olympic Games last year. And now, here in March, this is his third tournament in 3 weeks. And Steen, I'm quite surprised that he's playing 3 tournaments in 3 weeks at the age of 33. Of course, he was defending champion when he arrived in Mulheim for the German Open and defending champion at the All England as well.
Yeah, it's I'm not really sure how to interpret it. It's really nice if Lindan wants to play more tournaments. That would be great.
Yes, of course, it wasn't just the fact that he was bitterly disappointed. He was, of course, trying to win 3 Olympic gold medals at 3 consecutive games, but he's also had the happy arrival of a baby son as well, born on the 5th of November at the end of last year. So he's had other things to concentrate on as well.
I think that's played a role. Oh, good deception.
Goes over.
Now, Steen, I can remember talking to you after the Nanjing Youth Olympic Games in 2014, and I got very excited about this young man from Indonesia, didn't I? I was telling you that I thought he played quite similar to Taufik Hidayat, former world and Olympic champion, and the racket skills, especially when he comes forward to the net.
Yeah.
And he has already, as I was saying, shown great talent. 2 Super Series semi-finals. You know, I think it's only a matter of time before he makes a major breakthrough. That's already a breakthrough. That sounds very harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah, but taking sort of the last step up to the Super Series quarterfinals level and onwards on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that convinced. I definitely think he's got the chance, but it's interesting to see him in this match here. We know that the Indonesians, they've been for a couple of years sort of emphasizing the young players. Jonathan Christie unfortunately got ill before the All England had to withdraw. I think he was entered in this tournament as well. And Mustafa lost to Lindan yesterday, I think.
Yes, that's right.
There's also one of the guys that I really like. That was Abdul Kolik.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him entered into tournaments lately.
Left-hander.
Yeah.
5, 2.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. That's a fantastic shot from Lindan, and he's got so many deceptions from that forehand corner. You can't really see where he's hitting it. But he's often hitting it there, but not always. And yeah, that's fantastic, and I wish other players would learn from it and use the cross smashes from their forehand side more.
Just left-handers, or are you talking about right-handers as well?
Also right-handers. I think very often that shot is missing from the forehand side. People, they don't smash cross from their forehand side because they have to run such a long distance and cover their backhand side. But the problem is that if it's out of their repertoire, then it's too easy to play the cross defense from the straight smashes, and you're not going to run the long diagonal anyway.
Yeah.
Seven, 2.
Oh, yes.
Excellent play.
Yeah.
It's lovely for the audience that it's the Lindan who really wants to play that is showing up here today at the semifinals.
8,
Yeah.
2.
One of the things worth noticing is how Lindan sets up the play to his forehand. Very, very often he plays cross clear from his backhand side.
Oh, that's perfect.
Serve's
That's
over.
perfect. What a super shot from Ginting.
Three,
Well, I
8.
know the young Indonesian was brought up at the same club where Taufik Hidayat played as a professional. Do you see the likeness that I see
4,
on
8.
occasionally?
I can see some of it, but it's always difficult when you try to sort of imitate a player, because normally the first edition is the best.
Yes.
And I think also it takes time to get the vision and the read that Taufik had. He's got such special skills around the net and the flat game. There's a golden rule for many years: don't play flat game with Taufik's backhand.
5,
That's lethal.
8.
I'm a little bit concerned about the height of the Indonesian players. I don't have the exact height. Maybe you've got, Jill, of Taufik Hidayat, but as I remember him, he was a bit taller than both Mustafa and Ginting.
Serve's
Yeah,
over.
Ginting I have down at 171. That's 5'7".
Okay, that's pretty respectable. I guess Lindan is 178 or something like that. That's not too big a height difference.
No.
9, 5.
Yeah, Taufik was 175, 5'9".
Yeah, almost the same. Good shot. It's also the thing, Joe, by Lindan playing 3 tournaments. I mean, he might actually get into match form now. Maybe he hasn't
Yeah.
played that many
Serve's
matches.
over.
Of course, we know that he's been playing in the Chinese Super League, where he's won. I guess he was undefeated until the last or second last round or something like that. But it's different playing team matches where you play
6,
one match
9.
and then there's a break until you play your next team match and so on,
Yeah.
and then play day after day in tournaments. It just
Yeah.
gives you another touch, another feel for the shuttle.
Serve's over. Ten, 6. Eleven, 6. Interval.
So a 5-point advantage for the 5-time world champion, Lindan, here at the mid-game interval of the opening game. Well, I wonder how many more years we'll have the treat of seeing Lindan on the world stage. It's not just his playing ability, he has a sort of aura about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's always fantastic to have him
Court one,
entering
20
a
seconds.
tournament
Court
because
one,
it sort of
20 seconds.
immediately gives status to the tournament. Lindan is coming.
Yeah.
And I think
11,
like
6.
other sports where there's great stars like basketball, American football and so on, we should cherish the years where we have the big stars and can see them play live. That's a fantastic opportunity.
Absolutely. And as Basel's first son has just proved earlier this year, Roger Federer, don't write off the older players just yet.
No.
Whether it's tennis or whether it's badminton. Of course, Lee Chong-wei at the age of 34, winning the All England Championships for a 4th time.
So the last 2 All Englands, they've been won by Lindan and Lee Chong-wei, so business as usual.
6.
The art guy, that's the youngster, Chen Long, coming in, winning World Championships and Olympics.
Service over.
But we shouldn't forget that Anthony Ginting has beaten the world and Olympic champion. Not that he was the Olympic champion at the time when he beat him in the quarterfinal of the Australian Super Series last year, and beat him in 2 straight games. So this young Indonesian, oh, that's going wide, has got a huge amount of potential.
He's got some crisp shots that I like.
8, 13.
One of the things we've been talking about it many times with greatness and who the greatest are, and I think we should just let each era have its own. Rudy Hartono or Eddie Chung or Alan Copps or whatever they are. There's so many changes that it's impossible to sort of compare them. And of course, the late Alan Copps died a couple of weeks ago in Denmark. He was often asked if he felt that the young Danish players, as of now, if they could beat him, if they could sort of turn back time and be at the same age. And he said, probably they could if they could lift my racket. Yeah. Because the racket was a bit heavier back then. So in many ways, it's a bit of a different game.
Yeah.
But one of the things, that's what I wanted to emphasize, one of the things that makes Lindan special is if you look at his record, then you can see how many matches he's lost throughout his career. That's not a lot. That 83 matches has he lost. Maybe it's not updated with the All England, but only lost 83 matches throughout it. I can remember at least 14 years he's been on the tour. That's an amazing record to me.
Yeah, well, he's actually been in an international tournament final, at least one final every year for 16 consecutive.
16 years, yeah.
If he wins today's semi-final, it will be 17 consecutive years. I mean, he was winning this tournament here in 2004 before the inception of the Super Series, and we feel that the Super Series has been going. This is the 11th year of the Super Series.
Yeah. And
the Grand Prix Gold also started that same year, and of course the Swiss Open was one of the original Super Series from 2007 to 2010. That's just wrong. Oh, that's perfect again. It's come back in.
That was over.
And Dan was discussing the weather situation with his coach.
Yeah.
Bit of drift, taking that in his opinion.
Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, that one goes wide
That's
though.
over.
That's a good shot.
Now that's what you were talking about. More players playing that angled from deep in the forehand corner cross court.
Yeah, and especially when you play Lindan, because Lindan plays a lot of these cross clears to set his forehand up. So you got to play him back to his backhand side. Of course, to do that, you need to play some straight smashes as well to keep him guessing. Excellent.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. What a rally. Well, that is absolutely superb. Look at that dive. He's up again so quickly, and then the little guided shot, but the beautiful net play there from Anthony Ginting. What a rally. Well, the court needs to be mopped after the dive there.
An amazing batch of talent that emerged in the early 2000s with Lindan and Lee Hyun-il, whom we've seen make his, I think it's his third comeback, playing a lot of Grand Prix Gold tournaments and winning and constantly entering into finals.
Yeah.
Lee Chung-wei still at the highest level.
So good on the big pressure points, isn't he? Over the years, you think of the number of times he's won close matches. You know, he only had a 2-point advantage a moment ago. I know it's only 2 more points, but all of a sudden it looks comfortable at 18-14.
It looks like the game is decided more or less, unless something really spectacular happens from Ginting or Lindan makes a couple of service faults. Then.
Yuval Kassel from Switzerland, our service judge.
15-18.
great chance of winning this game anyway, Lindan.
I really felt that was a must-win rally as far as Ginting was concerned.
Yeah.
19-15.
Oh yes, I like that. He's a very smooth mover, isn't he, Ginting?
He is, and crisp smashes there. That's some of the weapons that's needed to beat Lindan. And talking about beating him, I mean, he's obviously lost more matches the last couple of years than in the middle of his career when he was absolutely at his highest level, and to sort of illustrate that, when he's definitely a little bit slower as a player now. You tend to gain muscle weight throughout your career. I think I mentioned before that Peter Gade gained, I think, 8 kilos of muscle throughout his career. So eventually he gets a little bit slower, and when Lindan was at his best, actually, it was even more lethal to play him there in the backhand side than in the forehand side. You couldn't play him in the backhand side because you could not see where he hit it. He could hit it straight, he could hit it cross, and he was coming so fast at you afterwards with the follow-up in his forehand side.
Yeah.
So think about that. You had to play him in his forehand side. Now you want to avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the sort of the best spot you could put it in the earlier days.
Well, 4 game point opportunities. That's well saved. Now that's the sort of shot that I think you've been talking about, that you like the crispness of it.
Yeah,
I certainly think it's lovely. Good sharp movements, imbalance, and a crisp angled shot down. Nice way to save the first game point, but he needs to save another 3 if he wants to take this opening game. Opening game to the 2-time former champion Lindan. 21-17 opening game in a little over 21 minutes.
Liebe Badminton-Freunde, auch heute wird unsere Aktion Yellow Shuttle weitergeführt. Am Ende jedes Spieles erhält der Sieger vom Aufschlaglicht einen gelben Shuttle. Dieser kann auf Yonex Stand gegen eine Lindan-Figur aus der Kollektion Yonex Legend Vision eingetauscht werden. Viel Glück! Chers amis du badminton, aujourd'hui encore une continue notre action volant jaune. À la fin de chaque match, le vainqueur reçoit un volant jaune de la part du juge de service.
A very good crowd in today here at St. Jakobshalle.
Contre une figure de Lindan de la collection de Yonex Legend Vision. Bonne chance.
As far as the city is concerned, not only going to host the World Championships in 2019, World Badminton Championships, it's apparently the warmest city in Switzerland. 3rd largest city and warmest city in Switzerland.
Definitely was very, very nice outside. Thursday and Friday had some really, really good temperatures and clear blue skies here.
Yeah. And actually Switzerland was where Albert Einstein developed his famous formula E=mc². You know that? He was living in Bern at the time.
No, I wasn't sure, but there's famous research centers close to Bern.
Yeah, he's got a new racket. I did wonder actually at the end of that first game on that final rally, whether the strings had gone in the racket. I think they're both testing out new rackets, if I'm not mistaken.
Second game, level, play.
So 1 game to the good, the 2-time former champion. Oh, that's a lovely angle. Oh, unbelievable how quickly he gets up. Oh yes, what a good opening rally to this second game. Look at that dive. He dives and gets up all in one movement. So does Lee Chong-wei, so do all the top players nowadays. It is great racket head control, isn't it, on that final shot?
And he seems inspired today, Lin Dan, to play some of his best game. I think he wrote in his book Until the End of the World, his autobiography, that nowadays he relaxed a bit more and enjoyed the game because he'd seen so many of his fellow colleagues stop early. Bao Chunlai stop playing and so on. So suddenly one day you can't do this anymore. So you have to sort of take the opportunities there is to enjoy it. That's well played.
Yeah, enjoy it while you can. You know, Bao Chunlai is a movie star now, or a television star, and he's an actor.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine that.
Yeah. Tall, good-looking man. Well, he's a big star in China. Well, there's nobody bigger in sporting terms, I suppose. The famous basketball player is perhaps bigger than Lin Dan, not only in stature, but of course in popularity. But this man is a megastar. Well, Anthony Ginting needs to be careful here. He can't allow Lin Dan to get up too much of a lead. Oh, yes, that's super. It's interesting, you were talking earlier, Steen, about Lin Dan's ability to hit either straight or cross-court. And we've already seen Anthony Ginting. We were talking in the second game about his cross-court smash from that deep forehand. There, just threaded it straight down the line. So he too has that variation.
He has that variation. What he needs to do now, in my opinion, because he plays the more difficult side in terms of putting pressure on his shots to the back court. However, he gets help on his attacking shots because they come a little bit faster towards Lin Dan. The problem is to get the right opportunity and to sort of seek that opportunity. I feel he's got to put a little bit more deception into his game. He's got to get Lin Dan off balance, because if Lin Dan is in balance, I don't think he plays inaccurate in any way. So it will just be coincidentally that there's a shot that's a little bit short or something like that, but not enough for Ginting to win the match on. He's got to be able to force him to make more inaccurate. Excellent, excellent. But what a retrieval by Ginting.
Yes, what wonderful, wonderful racket head control. And good courage too to play the net shot there. So back level, having been 1-6 down. Now 7-all.
Service over. Eight, 7.
Oh, look at that.
Service over. 8, all. Play.
It's a very good shot.
He has that same sort of vertical jump. You know,
Yeah.
there's most badminton players jump backwards. He seems to get his feet in place first so that he
Yeah.
jumps vertically. Let's go wide. Well, well, well.
Nine, 8.
Hit him for the last 10 points. It's gone long.
Service over. 9, all.
Oh, I don't believe it. Well, you would have put your house on him making that final smash. Absolute sitter for Lindan. Look at this. That's the one. Sent Anthony Ginting in totally the wrong direction. And then misses the simple kill.
9.
But we've seen him within the last 6 rallies. 2 times he's been totally off, but still managed to get it back. So it also says something about his speed, Anthony Ginting.
Service over. 10, all.
Oh, that's wild. All right. So it is
11-10
Lindan who
interval.
has the advantage at the mid-game interval. But it is only a 1-point advantage here in the second game. Well, this is really developing into an intriguing second game. Only 9 tournaments last year for Lindan. But won 3 of them. 3 finals, 3 titles. He's still an incredible competitor.
And now he's already played 3 tournaments this year.
Yeah.
1/3 of it. And
Play.
I'm not playing the next Super Series though in India, but of course Malaysia Open, where everybody in top 10 has to participate.
Service over.
And Singapore, I understand, is that right?
11, all.
I haven't seen the entry to Singapore, but let me check.
First 3 shots of that rally from Anthony Ginting, all down the centre of the court. I wonder what the thought
12,
process was there.
11.
Cut down the angle of his opponent, I suppose. Oh, quick racket work. That's perfect. Lindan actually left that.
No, Lindan isn't playing Singapore,
Oh. So just Malaysia.
just Malaysia.
12. All. Lindan.
Must be Chen Long, is it, then, that's playing Singapore? Maybe not.
No,
I think I'm
Yeah,
confused
maybe.
about something. Oh, well, it was ambitious.
Chen Long's playing Singapore.
Yeah, I thought he was, yeah. Oh, it's going wide. Yeah, there's a little bit of sideways drift as well, from left to right as we look down on the court.
14.
And that's actually interesting that Lindan is only playing one more tournament ahead of 1st May, which I would expect to be the cutoff date for qualification for the World Championships. And right now, Lindan is not qualified for the World Championships because there's 3 players ahead of him, and that's Shi Yuqi, Chan Ho Wei, and Chen Long. And I think that's the maximum you can qualify for the World Championships. Of course, he's within top 24, so it's possible to select him.
And of course, those World Championships in the Emirates Arena in Glasgow. So in other words, this semi-final could prove absolutely vital as far as Lindan is concerned for his World Championship aspirations. That's good judgment, that's gone wide.
Service over.
Yeah, I think they could.
15. 14.
Of course, he lost last week in the semi-final stage to Shi Yuqi, who's in the bottom half of the draw here. That's just long.
Service over.
Yeah, a little look from Lindan towards the umpire.
15. All.
Oh no, that's a good call, line judge. That was just long.
Service over.
Very, very nearly came back in.
17. 15. Ball.
That's crisp. Three-point advantage and 3 points away from deciding this semi-final, securing his place in tomorrow's final. Yeah, Anthony Ginting saying that the court attendant has not mopped the courts sufficiently well and it's still a little bit slippery.
Anthony?
Well, this is a crucial rally as far as Ginting is concerned. Yeah, but the error on the next shot.
Slipping away.
Yeah, two-time former champion. 2 points away from his 4th final here at the Swiss Open. Oh, yes. Oh, that was going out. Oh, look at that net shot. That is superb from Lindan. And what an excellent rally to bring up match point opportunities. 4 of them, to be precise, for the #1 seed.
Service over.
My goodness, that took courage to leave that.
17-20.
Oh, yes. Second time of asking. Symmetry in the scoreline. 21-17, 21-17. The victory for the 2-time former champion, Lin Nan. Yeah, thanks the fans for their support. And he is popular wherever he plays his badminton. 46 minutes for his semi-final victory over Anthony Sinisuka Ginting. 21-17, 21-17, and tomorrow Lindan will contest his 4th final here at the Swiss Open. So, 2 singles players take leave of centre stage. Excellent semi-finals day here which all started with women's doubles and Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan beating the European Championship bronze medalists Krogo and Tusen. Then it was the turn of men's doubles, and Chai Biao and Hong Wei tomorrow have a chance to become only the second pair in men's doubles history at Grand Prix Gold events by winning the same Grand Prix Gold tournament 3 times. Only one other pair has achieved that, but with their victory today in 3 games against Chen and Huang, they have the opportunity to win their 3rd title tomorrow. Then it was the battle of the 18-year-olds in the women's singles. Chen Xiaoxin of China beating Fitriani in 2 straight games, a match lasting 47 minutes. Then what an upset in the mixed doubles, because the world _1 Seng Chi-wei and Cheng Qing-chen went down in a thrilling mixed doubles semi-final against Pura Varanukro and Teurat Tanachai. Teurat Tanachai, of course, tomorrow has a chance to become the first player in Grand Prix Gold history to win titles in all 3 disciplines. She's already won a women's singles and women's doubles. The chance tomorrow to add the mixed doubles. And Lin Dan, the 2-time former champion here, the 5-time world champion, will contest his 4th men's singles final tomorrow here at the Swiss Open. What a great semi-finals day it's been. Of course, finals tomorrow a little earlier than today, 12 noon, that's 1100 GMT. From all of us here in Basel, from Steen Peterson and myself, Jill Clark, until the finals tomorrow, bye for now.